Nice. Welcome, welcome to Shenanigans Corp, the podcast. Well, what are we talking about here?
Well, let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. My name is Victor Madsen. Sorry, I'm interrupting. My name is Victor Madsen. I am the CEO of Shenanigans Corp, and I'm here with
Kevin, 96.
or Kevin McAllister if you watched Home Alone. It's the
Yes.
same guy.
Yes.
All right. We're going to talk about comic books, cartoons, everything in between that. And you have some very big questions for me. Is that right?
Yes.
You cannot be hesitant about that. You have to be yes.
Well,
Absolutely.
I have to build up to it because
Okay.
it's some deep digging stuff. Yes.
Oh, my.
Yes.
All right. Talk to me, chef. What are we cooking up in this mess?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have me here
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here.
and have you here as well.
Yes.
We can have a little bit of fun.
We can.
But it's also very serious. When the podcast comes
is.
in, it has to be serious.
Yes. And that leads me to the first question, actually.
Tell me about it.
Because, well, I don't want to make this an interview. It's more like a conversation. But this thing I have been thinking a lot about
Tell me.
since we started working.
Mm-hmm.
And that is about the whole balance between having fun, making funny shit, and getting shit done.
That's right.
This is the big question when you work on a project like this,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny as hell,
Yeah.
and we have deadlines.
Mm.
And for example, when we talk about the storyline,
Mm.
we get so engaged,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we've spent maybe 1.5 hours on just going ballistic, talking about ideas,
Right.
and not really coming to a conclusion.
Well, but that's part of it, right? Like we want to.
Yes.
The whole thing of what we're doing is we're also trying to let go in the process of control, right? So as we're developing the story, nothing is off limits. Everything is just it's a free for all. You kind of just bring whatever you bring to the table. Let's see it. Let's eat it. Let's try it. Does it work? Does it not work?
Yes.
And that's where the creative space is. That's where we're just having fun. But in my head, I'm like, oh, this is good. I could use it like that. I try to solve a puzzle.
Yes.
So me and Freya, how would you say her name? Freya. Me and Freya we're trying to solve a puzzle, and everything we're doing is to contribute to the salvation of that puzzle, solving of that puzzle. So when we jam out, it might not look like we're working, but we're actually finding very deep and meaningful plot points and character traits and small puzzle pieces that we need to finish the story, right? So we're not just making one issue at a time, because then we wouldn't have a cohesive story. We're trying to fill all of this, we're trying to map it out.
Yes.
So everything is getting mapped out.
Yes. That's a good way of seeing it.
Yeah.
Like mapping out.
Oh yeah, you're making a map out of puzzle pieces that are imaginary,
We
right?
talked about this before.
Yeah. And so our thing, when we were like, oh shit, that's when we found a very big important piece
Yes.
that finally clicked.
Yes.
So yeah, that's when you see us very hyped, it's like yes, and you can kind of tell if an idea is not it wouldn't be a good fit for. Like we try to have like a very open space of how we communicate the ideas. Like no one brings bad ideas, but some bring more relevant ideas for that particular problem than others, right?
Yes.
And it's not even dictated on the person; it's dictated on idea basis. So you have also had many great ideas that we have implemented. So it's funny that we're just in a collaborative, awesome space where we're trying to build a very funny product, a good story, good characters, very interesting thing, right? And I'm super hyped about it, and she's super hyped about it, and you're super hyped about it.
I am, yes.
So that really contributes to the hype. When we're all hyped about it, it's very hard not to be hyped.
Yes.
You know. So that's our shenanigans. We have a lot of fun. I would say. I don't know about you.
I do too. But I also kind of want to add that it's more than just shenanigans.
Okay, tell me about it.
There's a lot of value. For example, within the storyline, there's a lot of value that is bringing good food for thought.
Yeah.
Like the situations and the escapades and.
Can you give me an example?
Well, when there's this robbery at the beginning of the story, and WaffleMan decides within himself that he will not just stand by anymore. That whole situation is very valuable for everybody. It brings a lot of inspirational value and a lot of you get my point.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was also written in that regard, right? Like I wanted to have the catalyst for why the sword is pulled out. So the whole idea is that when you write a story, you have to have like. So I did the Dan Harmon story circle while I mixed it with Matt Stone and Trey Parker's, South Park. Like this happens, and therefore this happens, but then this happens, and therefore this happens, right?
Yes.
So if you mix those two together, those two story techniques, you end up with something very, very good. So WaffleMan starts out in the office. He is in a dead-end job. He just don't want to be there. His boss is fucking horrible. Like he's not only is he a horrible boss, but he touches him on the head. Like don't do that, boss.
Crossing the line.
That's way over the line. And don't call me bean counter, please. Don't. What the fuck, right? And he's making fun of the job role that he has. Like it's so below everyone else's. It's funny to us, the reader, but it's also relatable. Like, oh, you're just typing ones and zeros into a computer, and it has to be in sequence. Sounds like a tough job, and if you get it wrong, it's do-over, right? Very inefficient, and just, But then one day, and you establish his wants and needs by him gazing up at the poster where it says, you have a hero in you, and then he's looking up and you see the sword of this little baked thing holding it, fighting a dragon, right? And then he goes back into reality and like, yeah, right, kind of. So you see he's like, this is to establish what he wants, and then his back to reality kind of shit, right? But then, a little earthquake happens.
Yes.
And that
everybody thinks they're gonna die.
They think they're gonna die. He's like, "Fuck, man, let me just get some drinks in. I'm not dying sober. I'm not. I'm gonna just die really drunk." So he just drinks some syrup, and alcohol isn't invented in that universe. So you can just drink syrup.
Yes.
So
drunk on sugar.
That's their aphrodisiac. That's the thing that goes on that baked kind is their aphrodisiac. So a hot dog would get high on ketchup and mustard, and a waffle would drink a lot of syrup. And that's also funny where it's like, okay, I have to set up some rules. And I think it's funny that also if they go, let's just say Waffle would go buy a headset for his music or whatever. He would have to go to a special waffle store that sells waffle headsets.
Yes.
And then the problem arises when he's like, the whole idea is that I want him to be faced with a world he's not designed for, and or that it slowly is adapting to Baitkind, but that it's also, if you're let's say a donut, you would need to have them wider. So you just need to go around with big, and they would fall off because they're just not very good, And I like that because then you're fucking around. That's just funny in and of itself.
Yes.
And there's also an episode where he's like he has to go to a funeral, but there's no suits for Waffles yet, so he's like he kind of gets shunned, or like he gets into a normal suit shop and like we don't have suits for your kind. Try look in the dumpster, or whatever.
Yes.
And then it's like,
so it's kind of a broken world.
It's a broken world. There's something wrong here. Like it's not there's people here. There's animals. There's like weird, we don't want to give away too much, but there's like multiple kinds of species here.
Yes.
And as you develop in the story, you kind of find out why, and you find out about the world. It's also like. It's modern, but it also has landlines. Like I like the idea that I want it modern yet nostalgic, and full of references and full of new things. Like I really like that this is just a new place. Like it's never been seen before. It's not familiar to anyone.
Yes.
And then you can just dive in. Like everyone can just discover this amazing world.
Yes.
And I try to make it. I try to make it so that you constantly want to know more about it. Like you have to want to know more about it.
I like the fact that you are creating a whole new world.
Yeah.
And as the storyline builds.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to make a game out of this in the future,
we are.
It could be like an open world.
Oh, yeah.
And you could travel into space and meet other kinds of creatures.
That's big. I like the idea. I like that it's that big. But I'm thinking, how? Then it would be AI generated.
Have you heard about No Man's Sky?
I have. But is that wouldn't it be funnier to have it more like GTA, San Andreas, like it's Waffles,
then
right?
It has to be a really big.
No, exactly. But what if it's like, okay, you can just contain it to the planet, and then you say, okay, or just the kingdom. First game, just the kingdom, and then if you develop the game in such a way that instead of a new game coming out, it's just an add-on to the game. So it will always be the same game, but it will always be improved. But then you buy the latest update on the game. So it would be, we added a new continent, or we added a new, do you know what I mean? So,
I see,
yeah.
So it's kind of like Fortnite.
Is that how Fortnite works?
Every new season, they edit something in the world.
Nice.
And sometimes there's like an extra island.
Oh, sweet.
That you can go to. Or
oh, that's great.
And they have special weapons over
nice.
there. Maybe they have. I would think in WaffleMan.
Oh yeah.
It's more like you have quests.
I think you could actually do it like you have the WaffleMan game where Waffles the whole first issue would be actually playable in like you can do a demo kind of thing, right? Where you can actually just play the whole whatever that is, right? But then as it develops, you would be able to choose different characters and different storylines, so that you could explore each character's point of view better, and then you could interlock the story, so you can have WaffleMan and he goes to a kind of level, and then he meets this character. But it starts at that level that you just met WaffleMan on.
It could also be funny if you have like that. If you choose to go down a road,
Yeah.
it changes the storyline.
Oh my god.
Further on, like I can't remember the name, but
Yeah.
there's some games where if you choose something down the line,
Right.
it's gonna change the whole outcome.
Man, that would be fucking
Like
dope.
if you said, okay, you're gonna die.
Yeah, but that's okay. So that's the problem is with that is that then we wouldn't be true to the story.
Maybe it should be a whole story for itself, or
Yeah.
maybe it's like
I like the idea that it follows the story, but also that there's open interpretation of it.
okay, so
like-
like GTA,
Yeah.
like an open world, but there's a storyline within the quest, but
Yeah.
then there are side quests.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. That's such a great game. If we could get that.
It could also be awesome if it was as big as World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
and like there's hidden extra lore.
Oof.
Like if you read some random guy's
Ugh.
library and you find out that
Man. Problem is with all these games is that, like a piece of media will come out or a piece of story. Like let's say they do like the comic book, then the TV cartoon show, then figures, then games, right? If I'm not involved, I have to be involved in every one of them.
Yes.
And I think where it goes wrong is that there's one cartoonist who has all the ideas, who just want to do cartoons, right? Or he only want to do the comic book even. And then it's like people come in and want to help him and work with him, and he's not involved in the process. He's like, yeah, you do that. Here you go. He doesn't take accountability for the end product of
Yes.
the thing that, and I think that's where it goes wrong, because then it's like, oh yeah, it looks good enough. Like he settles for, because he doesn't understand the medium. He settles for what he doesn't understand. So he thinks, oh, I bet that's good enough.
Yes.
But if I'm involved in every one of them, I can say that's not good enough. That doesn't follow the story. That's not. That's inaccurate. Let's get this to this level. So I have to, it's a kind of tier
Yes.
thing.
I would say you would have to quality check.
Oh yeah,
everything before it
every
comes
single
out.
update, every single yeah.
Yes.
But I wouldn't mind that. I would love that. That'd be a very good job.
Yes. And also, when we get so far into
Yeah.
the process,
We're
I
very
would
wealthy.
I would think that you have plenty of time on your hands.
Plenty of time, plenty of money.
Maybe not. Maybe you already.
I'm maybe in Japan scouting out new and exciting things we could add to Shenanigans Corp.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I-
WaffleMan is only one project.
Yeah.
Within Shenanigans
I'm
Corp.
telling you. So, but I would love my dream day. You want to hear my dream day?
Yes, tell me about it.
My dream day is that I just wake up. I have a lot of emails to catch up on. I answer all of them, or whatever emails I don't want to answer, I just send them to my secretary, right? I wake up and I have a great view. I take a shower, I drink my coffee, then I go to my job or my business. And as soon as I walk in, people come up to me with options. So, oh, do you want this or do you want that? Do you want that? And then I just point, I want that. Cool, see ya. I get into a meeting, What's the meeting about? Let's make it efficient. Damn, bam, 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 cool. We go with that. Next meeting. Da-da-da-da, let's get that done. Nice. Change that to this. Cool, nice. Just walk the floor. What do you want? What are you working on? Oh, that's great. I love that. Can it do nice. You got it,
Yes.
Great. Next. Oh, what are you? Oh, interesting. So get that to me. I want to play with it. Next one.
You know what? you're promoted.
Something like that, right? And then I go to the next one, and it's like, oh, I made this kind of thing, and then, oh, wow. Oh, interesting. Oh, I like it. Keep working on it. I think if you do that, oh, thank you very much. Go to the next one, And then I have to choose some color for something, But the idea is that I have a company that there's no managers. There's no managers at all. There's no one doing a job that is not a productive role in the company. Yes. So let's say there is.
So everybody is on the same.
Everybody level. Is on the same level, and I have to be able to talk to anyone at any stage of because the worst thing is when there's friction between managerial. Yes. A manager will fuck up a whole thing just to say that he made some work. He will fuck up a good situation, a good product, a good even a social structure of people just to say that he had an impact. Yes. So I want to eliminate any form of manager in there, and everyone is gonna become a leader. So that everyone working is eventually building up so they can collaborate across disciplines and across levels.
Have you thought about bringing education into it?
I thought about it. Yeah.
Educating newcomers. Into the company.
So that's is called onboarding. So whenever people are onboarded, the process would be they are only in Shenanigans Corp if they have something to contribute. So if they don't have any thing to contribute, they wouldn't be there. And I think if they have something to contribute, they also have a burning fire of passion in them, right? And if they have that, let's get that fire started and see what kind of thing you can create. And then I would just offhands. I'm just curious to see what they work on. Yes. Like I believe so much in creativity, and I believe that people, when they're undisturbed and has no limits in terms of financial, and they just have a space to be absolutely creative, and they have all their needs met. Like we're talking high pay, we're talking freedom of work. Like how do you need to work? Because I need a nap. When I just after lunch I just need a 30-minute nap. Yes. And then I'm good to go. I can go all night, right? But if I don't get my nap, I fuck that shit up hard, If I bring on an individual that has their own ideas, I think it's also important to not make it feel like a job. Like it's not a job. Here you just come in, and I think it's important to make it feel like a play, like you're playing here. Here we just play, and we just make something cool, and we make something that makes us laugh, and we bring it to market, and everyone gets paid. Yes. I think there's such a good thing if, like, we're also talking about like, if we encourage people to have maternity leave and like go have some kids because we need data on how our products are. What if we have some toys that have some kids and then here's some toys for them, see how they react to it. It would be the best market research actually. That's why I brought a figure to your kid. Like you have. Right, yes. So there's a thing where it's like I'm really interested in seeing how he plays with it.
Yes, that's right. He got my son a little WaffleMan figurine.
Right.
And actually, sometimes when I have to put him to sleep, he calls for his WaffleMan figurine.
That's so sweet. Oh yes. My god!
And then when I give it to him, he throws it away.
Oh, that's great. That's so but it can handle it. So that it's
he has some interest in it.
Yeah.
You also gave him a little poster.
Yeah.
Which he refers to in association with the figurine.
Okay.
So
That's
I
fun.
think he sees the picture, even
Right.
though he's a 2-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Soon
Maybe
to
too
be,
young, maybe for that figure, but it can take some damage. It's just
Yes.
hard rubber plastic, right? So
Yes.
he can throw it around without anything happening to it, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's why I made it like that. It's I studied what kind of materials were best for that, and I looked at
Yes.
all the previous action figures and what kind of material is those figures made with,
Okay.
and
And it's not poisonous or anything.
it's
and,
not, no.
It's yes.
At least I don't know. Like maybe the paint is. Don't let him suck on it, But no. But the paint is made so it won't get off the figure fast, right? So
Yes. But I use it to like if he's having a tantrum
yeah.
and I have it right beside me,
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. That's good. That's good.
yes,
And
it works.
Yeah.
It works. Because it's just a happy little person talking nicely to him, and
yeah.
it's there for him,
Right. That's great.
And WaffleMan, he's your friend.
He's your friend, and I think that's the strongest message for this. Like, if WaffleMan can be a friend to all, that's good. We're talking not just kids, but also people like us. We need WaffleMan. Fuck, we need WaffleMan.
Yes.
We need him. We need. What does courage look like? Is it,
Yes.
Because I think as men we have forgotten what real courage look like real,
Yes.
actual,
Yes.
authentic courage.
Yes.
And if we can learn from a waffle, wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, and also, the person you hear encourage you do the right thing,
Yeah.
like listening to yourself,
Right.
fighting for what you believe in.
That's right.
Um,
That's a good message, regardless of age.
yes, and taking care of the people
Yeah.
you love.
That's right. Yeah.
So
But without being corny. Like, he's not like a good, and there's not a religion behind him. Like, he's not trying to be,
yes. Nobody's perfect.
nobody's
either.
perfect. And he has his faults too,
Yes.
He doesn't always make the right choice, but he's kind-hearted. Like, he thinks of a good, it comes from a good place, right? And I think that's important.
And he tries his best.
He tries his best, yeah, that's right. Even though he falls, but he doesn't give up. He gets back up.
Yes, never gives up.
Right.
And that's the thing that I've kind of felt while working on this project
Yeah.
in Shenanigans Corp, that nothing is gonna make us give up.
Exactly.
We have found something
Right.
that we can just
Yeah.
let it rip.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, it's true. And why would you want to give up? Like, it's so much fun. I think it's so much fun. Why would you give up something fun? Like, the money's going to come eventually.
I also feel like I got a thought just before.
Yeah.
We are moving into a world where AI is gonna take our jobs.
I mean, it's not going to take. It's going to be a very good tool for us. It's going to
Yes,
help
yes.
us, but it's
But-
not going to
but-
take. It won't be able to do a good WaffleMan episode by itself. I don't believe it.
No. But I feel like it's gonna take some jobs, perhaps in logistics, maybe
Uh-huh.
in
It's gonna be. We're gonna use AI. No, but so yeah.
it's gonna take some jobs.
It's gonna.
But the thing that I came to think of
Right.
is that's where Shenanigans Corp comes into the picture.
I think so. Yeah. But just imagine this, right? There's all this AI and all that, and people are becoming increasingly more creative because of it,
Yes.
right? They feel a sense of creation is pulling at them, and when that happens, and a company is like, yeah, we want to pay you for your creation, and we're gonna give you a good deal, and it's whenever it sells, you get money. Like,
Yes.
Imagine that. That's a good company. That's a good way to, because it could be endless, and there would be a very smooth, fine process for it all to work. And then if your product is accepted, cool, nice. And then you get into a meeting, you get in further development. There's always a team ready to help you. If there's such a smooth way that could happen,
Yes.
man, that's just imagine that. Imagine what kind of wonderful world we could build. Like really.
Yes. I also think like when we get up there, you should totally buy like a village in a beautiful place and make it like a vacation resort, but not like Disneyland or like a big trailer park where you can rent a trailer and hold vacation, but like a nice family resort with fun things for the kids.
Yeah.
Not like buy this shit or buy that, but more like you're gonna have a nice time. And this would be a nice vacation for you guys.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Yes, but I feel like I'm privileged to be part of the beginning of this.
What does privilege mean?
Privilege.
Oh, a privilege. Fucking A. I'm an asshole. Fucking what the fuck does that mean? Are you trying to offend me? No, a privilege. Okay, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
One moment.
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Let me take a picture of
Phone
this.
break, phone break.
Phone break. Nice.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Don't lift.
No, but it's nice that you call it a privilege.
Well, I think it is because before you contacted me about
You
this
contacted me.
No, you contacted me.
Oh, about this whole thing here?
Yes.
Yeah, but we worked together before, right?
Yes, we worked together before, but before you contacted me, I was at a place in my life where I was like, I don't want to live in the hamster wheel. I want to build something. I want to be an inspiration to my family and to my son and to my stepson. I want to be an inspiration to other people out there. And I feel like this is kind of the universe telling me, there is a way.
Yeah.
You can make the way.
Right.
And as we speak about ideas and we talk about what's our next step, I feel like this is us paving the way.
It is.
And we've been putting some content up on YouTube and on Instagram.
But small steps,
Just small steps, you know, but I feel like the more time we spend on this, the more
important it becomes.
The more valuable.
Yeah.
And the more insightful and wholesome it becomes.
Yeah.
And also there's room for shits and giggles too.
Oh yeah.
And
if there weren't, it's like you call yourself Shenanigans Corp and we can't laugh.
Yes.
It's like, okay, what are we doing here? Yeah. So and that's so my whole, from my point of view, I've been trying to get a good company up and going for a long time, but I haven't been able to find people or get a product to the market that wasn't a sucky product.
Yes.
So from every venture I tried, I iterated a little bit, so I improved it, right? Now, before I did anything with WaffleMan, I just had the story and I had a sketch on a napkin kind of shit, right? And what I did, instead of just going head first and building this, I went out and talked to everyone, every single person I could. And I just told them this story. And then I watched their eyes and I see, oh, do they engage? Do they engage with the story? Oh, they do. Interesting. And you can see when people are very engaged, they want to hear more. They want to hear the next thing. Oh, well, then what happens? Oh, then what happens? Then what happens? And you almost anticipate that they lose enthusiasm. Like, because at some point it's like, yeah, sounds cool, whatever. But then it's like, oh man, I gotta see that. If they have that when I talk about it, I have something on my fucking hands here.
Yes.
And when that has happened at least 256 times, you're like, okay, I'm convinced I have something here. No more bullshit. Now I'm going into development. I'm going hard at this. Everything else fucks off then, because then it's like I'm no longer looking. Now I found it. Here we go. Focused, hardcore. As I did that, that's just all I thought about. And I thought about WaffleMan for at least 2 years. Like, what is he? How does he?
Okay.
Like, I think maybe even 3 years. I had the idea of having him. I just liked the idea of a waffle struggling. Like, but not. I didn't want it to be corny. Like, I didn't want it to make it. Oh, he's just a waffle, and then Yes. I wanted him to have real problems, like any of us. Yeah, he should be the most relatable character in the world, and he's a waffle. That's it's funny in and of itself. Everyone can relate to someone who has a dream, who's stuck in a job that they fucking hate, right?
Yes.
And then something might happen. Something gives you the opportunity. Okay, you hate this? Here, try this.
This is also actually a way for us humans to develop ourselves.
Exactly. Like, I think there's a space in this that is also me trying to motivate people to find their dreams. There's a component of this that is me wanting a world where people actively go after their dreams and say, look, okay, it's risky, right? But if you just do the work, if you just, like, when I say do the work, I'm saying don't go after your dreams half-assed. I'm saying if you're doing this, do it with such an intensity that people that just does not follow their dreams get scared and want you out of their life.
Yes.
Really, because they're like, fuck this, I can't even talk to that. He just talks about his dreams.
Yes.
Like that, such an intensity. Like that's why I can't date. Women are like, you're so like intense about this. You're so in this. Yes. And there's no space for us to date. Like we can't develop anything because you're so focused on waffles, man. So that's my whole problem. Like,
but
if you don't,
that doesn't have to be a bad thing either.
No, it's not a bad thing. But I also think when there's more money coming in, it'll be, at least he's a breadwinner, right? Yeah, but right now, not a breadwinner. There's no money. Like we're struggling, but not for long. Just hang on. The next coming weeks, we're gonna make some money. I'm telling you. I'm bringing in some dough, so don't worry about it.
I got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
I consider myself a good friend of yours.
And I consider you a good friend, Brett. And we're having a lot of time, funny times together.
Yes.
And you are a friend. I hope you know that.
I feel like that too.
Yeah. Like the more you come here, I also see your devotion. And you're not just fucking around. You're for me. It really, it's a love language that you trust in my vision. So and that you show that by committing to coming every day. Like you're not slacking off. You're coming in and we're doing something and we're having fun. Like you value the same thing that I value. So it becomes a very good bond here. We have like a thing we're trying to build, and that's very fun.
Yes.
The development of that, and I'm learning about you, you're learning about me.
Yes.
It's also making us better friends, because it's like,
we are growing through this.
Yeah, we are, and it's amazing, and it's fun, and it's life fulfilling. It's because there's
And you know what? People are like, don't make business with your friends, but I feel like...
that sucks, I don't know.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut up. This is fun, man. But I also say, I think the constellation, you're also... So the whole, if you think of it structurally of the company, I told from the beginning how the cards are laid. Like, it's me, 100% ownership of me, and that's how I want it. And I wanted this because if we add other people in, it's going to erode our vision, and we won't be able to move like we want to later. So let's say we get venture capital, for example. If we get venture capital and they have a seat at the board, and we go public and all that, all of a sudden you have people voting for how valuable they think our company is, even though that we might be doing great or doing whatever. If we have public stock, people are gonna be judging every performance we make, and there's every quarter they're gonna see how we perform, and that's gonna make people want to buy or sell their stock, right? That's called shareholders. So if we have a VC, a venture capitalist who put money in at the start, maybe he put in maybe $10,000, $500, whatever. If he put a little bit of money, chunk of money in, that might get us started on the runway, right? But what they do is that, okay, they put in maybe $100,000. Okay, cool. But then they get, let's just say 15% of the company. Okay. We get through the 100,000 we have hired now, let's just say hypothetically we hired 10, 20, 25 people maybe. That's way too much. That would be totally stupid. We should use it all on whatever. Let's say we hired 25 people or 20 people. Now that goes to a payroll, that whole 100. That means we have a burn rate now. And a burn rate that can only, and if we don't have a product to market, it's becoming really technical right now. If we don't have a product on the market that can bring in that money back that those people, invested, yes, then we're fucked. And then we need to get more venture capital. And that means we go back to the investor that already has 15% of the company and has a seat at the board, and we ask for a little bit more money. Serious, let's say, A or B round, right? Then we get another squeeze of money from him.
Maybe we could just say, this is all what the company stands for, and have a cake, and give him 15% of the cake. And say, here you go. Yes.
Right. Let me just finish here. Yes, so let's say he goes say that, cool, but I want 10% more of the company for another 100,000. That's 25% of the company he now owns. Yes. And let's say he has a board seat at other competitive companies in our sphere. Because he has a seat at the board, he is entitled to know exactly what goes on in our company. There's nothing we can hold back from him that he's not allowed to see. That means whatever thing we develop down the line, he will have access to viewing and understanding. But if he also has that kind of insight in all the other companies he's has a board seat on, that means that whoever he favors most or whatever agenda he might have, he can take and vote out some of the products that we might have interest in developing down the line. And because he has 25%, he has a strong voting right in whatever that is, right? So that means we might not get our vision to where we want it to be. And likelihood of if we start in getting seed capital, we might need other investors. The more investors you bring in, the less thing you can bring to market at a risk. Yes. So this is why
we should not let people invest.
We should not let anyone invest. Or at least it should only be people who work.
Yes. We take donations.
No. So the whole idea is that anyone outside of the company that has stock in it wants their money back. Yes. No one is going to invest just for investing. They're investing in hopes that we turn up capital, yes, right? I see. But that's also why you're here for free, right? Like, you're investing serious time here because you believe that we're building something of value.
Yes.
Sorry.
But I feel like I'm also spending time here.
You are. You're having a good time, I think. No, but that's why if we bootstrap it all the way, we have leverage. Powerful leverage. Leverage that's gonna be very, very a very good card down the line. And yeah, so
So no investors.
No investors. And it's gonna fuck some people up. It's not good to not be open to investors because it's gonna keep us out of some clubs that we might be a part of later. But I'm willing to take that risk.
But there might just be people like us out there.
Yeah,
Who
if
has
we
clubs.
right, if we can find a way to develop talent and get real good talent in, like we're talking about creative talent, people who refuse a traditional education. What are you doing there? Are you fumbling?
Yeah, sorry.
It works. People who have not studied in Harvard or any kind of business school, like we're actually trying to look for people who are not like that. People
Yes.
who are scatterbrained, ADHD, Asperger's. If you're funny, if you're loud, if you're crooked, you might fit in a.
If you're bipolar.
But not bipolar. Goddamn, not bipolar.
If
But
you're
if
a
you're
psychopath.
not a psychopath, we don't want psychopaths. Get the fuck out. We don't want any of that. We just want people who are creative and passionate and has something on their mind that they think could be fun, right?
Yes.
And if you just keep that open.
But maybe talk a little bit more about that.
On another podcast. We've been sitting here for how long? Do you know how long it is to hold in a shit? Do you know how long we've been sitting here while I've been holding my shit? Hang on. No. How about check? Can you check here? 51. That's almost an hour. Let's give it okay, like 9 minutes
you can't
more.
hold it anymore.
Oh shit!
But
We can round it off.
yes. But you have been telling me a few times now what Shenanigans Corp wants to do to the world.
For
And,
the world.
For the world.
Not to the world. For the world.
Yes. Yes. What Shenanigans want to do for the world?
Not to. If you do something to it, if you do something to someone, it's involuntary.
Okay.
But if you do something for someone, it's a kind gesture.
What Shenanigans wants one for the world? No.
Wants to do for the world?
3 world.
Fuck are you talking about?
Okay. What Shenanigans wants to do for the world?
Yeah, that's good.
And that is, I think you can explain it well, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But Shenanigans Corp has a vision to bring something for the world that has an impact. Because as the world looks right now, there's a lot of stuff going on. And we are not here.
And we are here.
We are here, but but like we want to do something that makes us want to be here even more.
Yeah.
That makes people want to fight for their life,
Right.
or maybe just want to live their life even harder.
Yeah.
And that is positivity. A smile on the face. Nice emotions. Love,
Yeah.
kindness,
Right.
joy,
Yeah.
relaxation.
Right. Yeah.
Thigh slapping.
Thigh slapping humor. Goddamn, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. You encompass. That's yeah. You understand the vision. That's it's very nice.
Yes.
You understand what it's all for. Like it might seem so broad and scatterbrained, but there's there's meaning to the madness, right? Like,
Yes.
it makes sense to have would want to have a waffle be a hero, and it makes sense to want to have like a trash can walking around just bumping in and cursing at it. You know, there's you know, even just a little house where you can turn on the side and sounds like a little angry man goes up the stairs, and he, you know, once, you know, and he gets mad at you and like lifts the roof like, hey, stop turning on the light, you know. And then
maybe a mug every time you drink of it, it makes like
something like that. That would be funny, you know, or a fart sound or whatever, you know.
yes. But like,
Yeah.
it's not because we're trying to look for an excuse to do this, because we're doing this because of a burning desire to do something very particular.
Yeah.
And it is broad, this particular thing,
Mm.
but it is extremely particular.
Right.
Um,
Put a little more love into the world. A
exactly.
little more joy.
And we don't have to go into details about how the world looks now.
No.
Because we all know.
We all know, but and I think that's the problem, that we all know all the time. Like, we all know exactly how horrible things are all the time, every day. But no one tells, like, what's the best joke you heard today? Or, you know, what made you laugh lately? You know, like, why are we never thinking funny shit? You know, why are we not? I want to get back to a state of mind where, like, there's some funny shit I saw. You know, that goose, that was a funny goose, you know? Silly goose. A little silly goose at the pond.
Yes.
You know?
Also,
how can you like,
if we like get to a point where all these issues,
when this hits 60, I'm saying goodbye and I'm leaving up here. I'm just saying it's going to be an abrupt goodbye.
okay,
So
but
I have a meeting to attend to. But finish your thought.
yes, if and when we get to the point where these issues that are going on,
Right.
we reach a point where people like, let's let it rest,
Yeah.
and we start focusing
Mm.
on something that brings us some more value.
Right.
Then we've reached success.
I think you're right. I think and even if you can get that, like, it's not just one product, it's on many. We're trying to replicate an emotion. Like, I'm so interested in what makes people connect to things. Like, that connection right there. What is that? I want to explore that for the rest of my life. I want to see, why is that interesting? Why is that funny? Like, I really, every time I'm interacting with things I resonate with, I have to ask, why is this resonating so hard with me right now? What is it? I'm trying to trade my brain.
Yes,
like,
yes.
this is it. Like, it just, for example, when we walked down into that thrift store and I saw those robots and that kind of thing, why is these two resonating so hard? Like, what is it? And I was like, of course, okay, it makes sense. Man, I have to get it. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had to get it. And we got him, you know?
Yes.
So there's like a thing where,
It's also this meticulous focus on what is it? Like, what is this particularity?
Yeah.
Peculiar particularity.
Yeah. I would say I try to be very focused. Like, I try to be super, also when we're trying to get a product or an idea or a scene or whatever across, I'm very focused on, this is what we're trying to say with it. This is what we're doing with it. And anything that doesn't align with that just fucks off. Like, fuck off with it, because it's just fluff. Yeah.
Tight.
You need to have it clean. You have to tight. And the other day when I talked about, like, you have to have the beat.
Yes.
She didn't understand, like, what I meant. But then I'm like, okay. And I explained like, yeah, but there's a cadence to the way you tell the story, and there's a beat to it. Like it should feel natural and organic, and if and then she's like, oh, okay, I think I get it. Yeah, but because then I explained to her, this is the fluff part. This has no,
Yes.
it doesn't align here.
But that's a part of the learning experience
It
we
is.
also talked about. And
That's
I think
right.
she is closing in on.
She is, and she's so good. And
Yes.
now I'm gonna leave. Thank you very much for the podcast.
Yes.
It's good. Thank you. See you next time.
I'm gonna end it here. So yes, as Victor takes care of business, I would like to say goodbye to all of you for watching. Thank you for watching. And if you feel like this was interesting for you, please share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe leave a like, maybe leave a dislike if you can that. if you do dislike it, then at least we'll know. Yeah.